Today is January 21st, and this is episode 9. And you are?
I'm Allison.
And I'm Jen.
Crystal.
Darcy.
And we are
The Knitters Are Here.
And welcome back. I'm so glad we're so glad that you guys are tuning in again. We just want to, first of all, thank you for all of our subscribers who are watching and commenting. It's really very helpful. And we're enjoying the feedback, and we love to see those numbers rising with subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed, please like and subscribe down below. I'm not sure which side it's on, so you're smart enough, you'll figure it out. And definitely keep those comments coming, and we appreciate all the feedback. And
we will kind of note we are working on getting a new camera.
I have a new camera.
She has a new camera. We just have to figure out how to use it.
I had the flu. I came and I went, oh, new toy. I don't feel like it.
Flu, it was the plague.
It's something.
So once we get that worked out, then hopefully the sound issues that many of you have commented on will also go away.
It has an external microphone too.
Nice. So volume issues will be taken care of as well.
Yeah.
All right. Well, stay tuned for the end of the video because we are going to be mentioning something about a giveaway that we are going to be doing. So please watch all the way through, and there'll be more to come for that. Let's hop right in and start talking about finished objects. You want to start down by you while your voice lasts?
Yeah, right. So finished objects, just the cowl that I have on, which is finished years ago. I just made up the pattern. It's yarns from Knit Picks, and it's roving. So it kind of, it's very flaky, like almost like that mohair effect without it being mohair. And it's very heavy. And I got halfway through it and they discontinued the black. So I had to order a charcoal. So there's a slight variance in the two colors, which I actually
It
don't
looks like
mind.
a fade.
Yeah. There's like a line that shows the difference, but I don't
have issues with yarn.
Finished objects. 2 test knits. This is the City Lights hat, and this is by Tiffany Lynn. And I made the child's size. So that was a test knit, and then
I love the change in colors there.
so 2 different colors. It comes up very green or very blue when you take a picture. So it almost looks like 2 different hats. It's not. They're the same hat.
Interesting.
And then the other test knit I have was this
cute.
cabled hat, and this is the adult medium.
Oh dear.
It's not fitting my head.
I couldn't even get it on mine. As soon as I got it here, pop right off.
Oh wow.
So this is called the
Beautiful.
ISE hat. It's a beanie with cables.
I love it.
And it's from, help me out, my eyes aren't working.
Katrin
Schubert?
Katrin Schubert.
You said ISE?
ISE.
And it's okay to talk about this test.
She had said it's okay to talk about. The release date for the pattern doesn't come out until the 24th. So that's when she'll release it on Ravelry, and you can get it.
January
Yes.
24th,
Yes.
2020.
I'm gonna put that in my keep.
So there's a couple errors in it in the beginning. Like, so you start on a size 6 needle, and then she talks about in the pattern increasing, you know, there's 2 needle sizes, a 6 and a 7, but she never tells you to change. And so I got halfway through using the same size 6 needle, and then she put out the correction that she forgot to mention to change needle size to increase to a 7. So I just was this far and I continued, and I'll just make another one.
Nice.
Very nice.
So that's it.
All right.
Okay. I don't actually have any of my finished objects with me. This is an older finished object, probably the first time I worked in the round.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be 2 years ago now, Darcy and I went to the Pittsburgh Arts and something.
Quilt
Yeah.
festival,
yeah.
something in Pittsburgh, yeah.
Yeah, it was in
Crochet
Pittsburgh.
show, I think.
And
Yeah.
we bought this. I think we both bought this kit at from Stitch Party,
Yeah, Stitch Party,
which is
yeah.
a local to Pittsburgh dyeing company. And this cowl, it's basically seed stitch, but the yarn was called Monongahela. And my family is from outside of Morgantown, and the Monongahela runs right through Morgantown. So it was kind of like, you know,
An homage
a
to
link.
home.
Yes, a link.
An homage to the
So,
homage.
Yeah.
But I actually finished a hat with Tina's Twisted Fibers in Arctic Fox. And there's pictures of it on Instagram. I made it for my roommate and forgot to snag it when I came over here this evening. I think it's small, but she thinks it's perfect, so there you go. It's in a rib that is off balance. You know, it's like, you know, one instead of
Staggered?
yeah, it's a staggered rib. Yeah. And then I made the turtle dove for my mom.
Oh, yes.
So,
That's great.
and I finished that up. Her birthday was on Friday. We got together on Saturday. I had it. Everything was done except I did not bind off the ribbing so that she could try it on and we could try it for length. And I ended up adding another inch or so to it and binding it off and getting it to her. So yeah,
Nice.
You have 2 sweaters
I
done
still
now.
have. Yes, 2 turtle doves.
Yes.
Yes, a partridge and a pear tree. Yes.
Speaking of turtle dove, this isn't necessarily a new FO. It was a year
Yeah, it
old,
kind of is.
but
Yeah.
the first one was too big. So as soon as I was done with gift knitting, I think Christmas Eve, I found the end of the old one and started unraveling and began knitting. And so as I knit, the old one got smaller and this one got bigger. So I just made it a smaller size and I went with a longer sleeve. And yeah, so I used the same yarn and same everything, just went a little bit smaller.
So technically, your waist is around your neck.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my neck is down here.
And
So
see, when I did mom's, I shortened the neck because since my mother and I are vertically challenged, we don't have a long neck either.
okay.
So I cut it in about half.
All right. I definitely love the cozy neck. So, and then I snagged back the mittens.
Oh, you grabbed it back
So,
from.
yes. So
And how did
these
those
are
go over?
that she loved them.
She better.
So
Sorry, Mary.
You better recognize what that is.
How could you not?
Yeah. those
So
are
I was
awesome.
surprised with how big they were, but you know what?
Like
your
lengthwise?
wrist, like my wrist is here. So, but
It's a gauntlet.
good in the sense of
They needed
if you
the room
don't
for a
want
space.
cold. Yeah, if you
Yeah.
want to get all of that on
Yeah,
a
yeah,
mitten,
yeah.
you're gonna
Yeah.
have to do the length. And the first one was painful, and my great friend Allison was watching me, and it was more painful for her to watch than it was for me to actually knit. And she put her knitting down and said, "I can't stand it any longer. Let me show you an easier way," which made the second mitten fly.
You're
And
talking about
I'm
catching the
floats.
floats.
Forever grateful, because there are some hefty floats on some
Right.
of these in these
and
big sections.
Mr. Bowie did need a mate, so
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, because I was trying to convince them it was David Bowie that wore the one glove,
I
not
know,
Michael
no,
Jackson.
no,
It was
no.
David Bowie,
Yeah,
I
no, no.
swear. But yeah, so she
We
saved,
did not let her get over
saved
that.
that gift, so she was able to receive both of them on Christmas. Well, it was the Saturday after Christmas. And after posting it on Facebook, Jill, you know who you are, she asked if I would possibly knit another
Oh, I
pair.
saw that too.
And I very politely said this is a one and done. The pattern's on Ravelry. I'm sure there's somebody out there that would be willing to knit for her, but these are Mary's, and so they're the onlys that I will ever knit. It was a big one.
But you did change a couple of things, right? You changed
Oh, yes.
the black at the edge and the black thumb instead of the little.
They were supposed to have the polka dots
Stardust
on the
thumb.
thumb. Yeah. So
And she was angsting over this, and we're like,
Yeah, just make them
you know
black.
that
She was
it
like-
could be a solid color, and her eyes just lit. Her whole face just lit
It
up.
was like salvation.
Oh, I'm telling you, and it was funny because I'm like, I'll never make mittens again. I'll never make mittens. She's like, well, once you get used to this new way of catching floats, maybe you will. And I might, but not anytime soon. So, and then my next finished object is this kind of open work, lacy kind of thing. It is called the Terribly Simple shawl. And the pattern is
Show them
one
close the
row.
sparklies.
Yes, this is by Knitted Wit. Oh gosh, did I not bring my tab?
And it's sparkly. I'm not sure if you'll be able
Nettle
to
Wing or
appreciate that.
something like that. I think it's called Nettle Wing. Yes, Nettle Wing. And
It's a lovely color.
it was basically, she had the cast on, it started here. And so you cast on and begin, and the basic repeat was knit 2, knit front and back, knit across to the last 3 stitches, knit front and back, knit 2. That was the whole pattern. And I'm like, that's simple. And I got to about here, and I'm like, I can't just do garter. So I'm like, I'm gonna do some eyelets.
You mean the whole scarf was supposed to be?
It was whatever you wanted, but it would have been garter.
Okay.
And then I'm like, I'm gonna try drop stitches, because when I did Wool and Honey,
Yes.
I learned how to do drop stitches. And then I'm like, I'm gonna do eyelets again. And then it's like, ooh, I'm gonna do, and then I did a stockinette, which I probably wish I wouldn't have, because it's so different from the eyelet and the drop. But I just kept the pattern going, and yeah, so I just kept repeating. I or in the beginning, I was just gonna do this and then go straight garter, because I wanted it to be fast. And then the more I looked at it, the more I thought it needed the pattern to continue. So Crystal asked me, what are you going to name it? And it is named Done. That is the name, and it is a gift
she basically
knit.
designed it, right?
Yes,
Yes,
so
you did.
I did. So I designed a shawl. It's just another one and done that will never be able to be repeated. So that is it for me for FOs.
Okay. I have a couple.
Okay.
This is a hat called the Applegate,
Oh, I love that.
which is made with a self-changing color
I was
yarn.
gonna say that
It's
was
the Barocco Millefiori, and then there was another Barocco that was supposed to be the background, which I didn't care for, so I changed that to Swanky Sock.
Nice.
So, and as you can imagine, you can do this in lots of different colorways, self-changing or not.
right.
DK or
And
worsted?
No, it's actually fingering.
Fingering. Okay.
So-
Nice.
That's the
And did you
Applegate.
get that up at Cast On, right?
No,
No?
I bought the Barocco at Designing Woman. Designing Woman has an extensive collection of the Barocco, the best in the area. So if you like Barocco and their line, that's the place to go.
Nice.
I think I mentioned the tuxedo stripe sweater, which is based on an old Vogue pattern,
it's got
but I
such
kind
a
of
nice weight to
changed
it.
it. So I was pleased with how that came out.
I like it.
Is this the one you dyed?
No,
No.
No.
that is here. So an old knit that I dyed that I showed you last time was kind of green and purple, and so I used a Rit liquid dye and half a bottle and left it in there 4 minutes. I kind of wish I left it in there 30 seconds, but I still like the way it came out, and now I wear it where I didn't wear it before. So
Awesome.
that's good.
And what's the name of that pattern again? We'll get to that later.
We might actually already have it from
You do?
when she
Okay.
showed it before.
So if you want the name of it, look
It's
a
a
couple
couple
podcasts
podcasts
back.
back.
Yeah, one podcast back. This is
Oh,
You're gonna have to go
Guernsey
Guernsey on
sweater.
this.
and
Oh my gosh.
which had been a cardigan I changed into a Henley. But I kind of wish I hadn't used this wool because it doesn't really show the pattern work as well. But this was a Shalimar fingering that I bought ages ago.
And you were saved
I
by
was saved.
Ravelry, people who have kept a nice inventory on Ravelry. What you went on there looking for that?
I went on there looking for it and was complicated by the fact that Shalimar has changed their yardage and their skeins, so I needed like the old skeins, so it would be the old dye, and I did find some. Come to the rescue.
So thank you to all who keep good Ravelry pages. I am
stash.
not one of them.
Enter things in your stash. Oh, and
Yeah.
this one is called Vireo. It's kind of like a baseball sweater. I just wanted a comfy sweater. Probably could have gone down a size, but I didn't want it to be tight. I wanted it to be comfy.
Nice. And the same patterns on the back as it's in the front, so lots of cabling in the back.
Boy, that cabling and then my little hat.
And you did it in the round, right? Or pieced?
Front and back.
Okay, so it was pieced because
Yes, this piece.
And you seamed it.
Yes, I see.
but you can't even. I mean, it's a nice pattern along the side here, and you can't even
Yeah, so it has
see the seam.
I just hate seaming.
two.
It's just time
And it's
consuming
just your
to
swan
me.
side, so seaming is easy.
So do you block each piece then seam, or do you seam then block?
Well, I know what you're supposed to do.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if it was a preference or what you should do.
No, I just go ahead and seam and then block. but-
Okay. Mixed. I think I'd do that too.
Me too.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So finished objects. There we go. So let's go to whippets. Whip it up.
The only whip I have is the Novelli,
Okay.
which isn't that far.
All right. Well, you've been busy
I've been
and sick.
busy and sick, and
Say you've had the plague.
that's
Yeah.
all I
Look
got.
at those colors together.
Yeah, but it kind of reminds me of Michigan
close?
colors, and I don't want it to look like Michigan
Go
colors.
blue.
No.
Well, it won't when you put your last color
I've
card.
been a secret Michigan fan with all you Ohio
No.
Staties here. John Teskey, go blue.
Stop it.
He's on, well, it's his senior year for Michigan basketball.
So yeah, that's all I got for a whip. That's it.
All right, Crystal.
I have, well, the Soldatna is in hibernation.
Okay.
So, yeah. The only active whip is Novelli.
Oh, I like the green.
I was going to say, the last time I saw it was just the green
the
without
ball.
any color.
It is a gorgeous kind of mix of emerald and forest
I like
greens.
that green.
And I like it with that kind of coppery color.
Oh, that is so,
So
pretty.
hopefully,
It's fun, isn't it?
so far I'm I think 4 or 5 rows into the color work, so not too shabby. I think my floats are gonna be okay this time.
And color work gets addictive if you haven't done it because you want to see what
What
it
comes
looks like
next.
after the next row.
Yeah.
Except for I hate those sections where like I can't remember the repeat and I have to like do one and then look down and see, okay, we'll do one and then one of the other color. And then when you get to the ones where you can remember them and you're like going all along and you're like, oh, I gotta do a new section and I gotta remember it over again.
Yeah.
That kind of annoys me.
Yeah,
I need
can
to
relate.
start marking so that when I look back, I know which row I'm looking at, and not have to figure out which row I'm looking at each
Oh, you're
time.
not using tape
I
or something?
haven't
Wow,
come
look at
up
you
with
going
a.
rogue.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that like made me like almost like, oh!
I got like post-it notes all over mine and drawing little dots to
I
make
have my
sure.
magnet
I'm on
board
row
with
5.
magnets that has helped.
I have a magnet board, but I don't use it.
Is
But I
it
use
the
the tape.
magnet board that we hunted for?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that one. Well, that was
I
just
just
have to
kept
get
dropping her pattern in the car.
I just have to get in the
Yes.
habit.
Okay,
What are we
so
doing? Bring out
I'll
your
do Novelli first.
Novelli?
And oh, I meant to bring in some other stuff, but I forgot. I thought we'd do a
But your
little
Novelli
history lesson a little bit because I have my vintage Red Heart needle from the 1940s, and so that is mine. I made
And
mine
Jen is way
really
ahead of us.
long.
Wow.
And so not halfway, but as I was
I'll
trying
show
to,
you the pattern.
yes. So yes,
She's up at the divided
pattern
sleeves.
flies until you get to that.
Yeah.
And then
this?
yes, so
Okay.
then it's like easy because you're not
Right.
having to look at a pattern or anything, and then you get to the split. That's all right. And then we get to the split, and
See,
then
that's where I
we're
go.
in purgatory. Oh,
Like 1,000
purgatory.
stitches just came off the needle.
Not that many. So then I
Okay,
realized.
999.
So I am actually knitting on 3s. You can't even see it because it's so tiny. And purling on 2s.
What
So
is that thing?
That is a straight needle. Once again, I love vintage needles, so I'll find them.
I have never seen
So,
a plastic needle like
yeah.
that before.
So, it's got the metal
That
cap,
actually
so
looks
it's
like
not,
the needle that I started knitting. Like my
Kind of,
grandma
yeah.
started me on.
Made
So
in the USA. I can't read the brand.
I
Boyle.
Boyle. Yeah, so I set out some needles, and I'll have to bring them out next time. Maybe I'll go grab them when you're doing your whips. But I thought I'd do a little history lesson, a tiny one, on knitting for victory during World War II.
Oh, yes.
Because this was part of the Red Heart, and I actually
Okay.
have Knit for Defense patterns, and it's from 1941. And one of the posters that I found was Pearl Harder instead of Pearl Harbor. And it was just one of the posters to get people knitting for the boys over the seas. So I'm in the middle of Yarn Chicken right now because, as I said, this is all I have left for one side. And then I've got 3 more of these, but it's in a different container. So this is, I've separated it into 3 balls to go back and forth on the one side. And then I have 3 balls sitting in another bag to do the back. But I really don't think I have enough to do another 1.5 inches on the front, plus the ribbing, plus the sleeves out of this on one side. It's only 2 inches for the sleeves, I think, and then you switch to the other color, and then you do it and fold it back. But thank you to Cindy from Harps and Thistles. She is my savior right now because she has another skein of Mother Knows Best in fingering in this die lot. So she's got it safely tucked away for me until I can pick it up in the next day or 2. So that is my Novelli at this point. I do have from Cozy Up Knits, I am working on the double, oh wait a minute, I always say it wrong. It is called the Grande Double Wrap. So it's in a black and white, so it's not a very pretty copy, but if you haven't watched the Cozy Up Knits podcast, they're a really cute bunch of sisters that get together, but this has a Grande double wrap with a shot of brioche. So that is what I'm wanting to learn this year, is how to brioche. And the brioche part is towards the end. It looks like it is the end. So it,
Show this closer.
yes. And so this, the brown on that is a yarn that I dyed at Destination Yarn. And I love the colors in an iced coffee, like when they add the cream and there's like
I gotta show off a stitch marker here.
That's right. Ooh, Star Wars. And so I wanted to have yarn that reminded me of coffee because I love coffee. And so when I heard the name of this pattern, I'm like, aha, I finally have something to use it with. And so the cream is just a fingering that's not dyed. So it's just a plain yarn that I got over at Black Locust Yarn. So that is that one. And then, so now that I'm done with gift knitting, this is my new project bag. It was supposed to be my lunchbox my granddaughters bought for me, but it's more of a commemorative thing than an actual heavy-duty lunchbox that it had
Like we
broke.
had in school.
Yeah, so I actually used this for my lunchbox for about a week, and by the next week, the little clip gave way. So I love it so much that it's now become a project box for me instead of a project bag. So I thought this year, with the year of hats, that in January I'd make January. I thought I'm going to go with each year in making a hat. So I have all this yarn left over from the stash I purchased.
Yes.
So this is the wool of the Andes. And not to go back to the previous comments about when we see a pattern, we tend to knit it in the color.
Oh well.
So, but this is also a new to me project because I'm learning how to do bobbles. I've never bobbled.
done that?
So I've never bobbled, so I'm learning to bobble. So that is.
Do you do your bobbles with knitting backwards?
Let's see. It's in the same stitch: knit, purl, knit, and then you turn it.
No,
Purl 3, and then you turn it and slip it back.
Okay.
So you have
There's a
another
way to knit backwards without turning it.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm sure I
We
will.
did not.
Okay.
I did. You did not. Because remember, I didn't follow the pattern. I did my own thing.
That's true.
You do
but
your own thing?
didn't I think I watched Andrea Mowry's video on how to do bobbles. And I think that's how I did my bobbles. But I don't remember.
Well, because she
I
had
don't
the
remember how I
instructions
did
in there
my
on how to do the
bobbles.
bobble, and like for some reason I totally skimmed that part. I was like,
You've been hanging
bobble,
around me
bobble,
too long.
how do I do a bobble?
Well, I did.
And then I looked up doing
I
it
used the
backwards.
stitch count that she used.
Oh, yeah,
But
yeah.
I think I used Andrea Mowry's technique.
I don't know if she knits backwards or not.
I don't
Okay,
think
I don't
she
know.
does.
I only have one.
At least the one you're talking
Well,
about.
kind of.
But I didn't have to turn it.
I'll
I
be
know
back.
that.
This
That
is
was
my
part of
Novelli,
it.
and this is as far as I have.
Ooh, but you're getting into the.
But I just started my body color, which is a cranberry, which I changed.
I do like the
I
cranberry.
do like the
now.
cranberry. Yeah.
So, actually, I forgot. I had a little finished object that I forgot to mention, which I also forgot, and that is I did it's fiber related and from a knit store, even though it's not knitting. I did a little inkle weaving class.
Oh, yeah,
Long
that's
tail knits.
right.
We have a picture of it. We can put it at the
Um,
end.
Send her
or insert
pictures.
it.
So
Yeah.
Longtail Knits has a lot of different weaving things that they teach, whether it's rigid heddle, or triangular and spinning and all those kind of good things. And they have a lot of baby yarns if you like baby yarns as well, some
They
Albedo
do.
and things like that.
I got the yarn for David Bowie from Longtail Knits. So
I like how those are just
David Bowie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which you shared with me that David Bowie's son went to Worcester College.
College of Worcester.
College
yeah.
of Worcester. So
Mhm, which is
local
like
Ohio.
40, half an hour.
Yeah,
I actually
hours.
started at the College of Worcester,
Oh, okay.
and my father was the gardener there when I was in first and second grade.
Nice. Great little yarn.
Dentist that I subbed
Good
for
stuff.
did her undergrad work at the College of Worcester.
Okay, so I don't want to take up too much time with this, but
No, I
here's
wanna hear
a
it.
few more of the Red Heart needles that have the cute little heart tops to them.
So are those actually from World War II?
Yes, these are vintage World War II needles. So I have the longs and the shorts. I don't have a full set of these, but anytime I'm in a thrift shop or a resale shop, I keep an eye out for
Wow,
those because they're
that's
just so
cool.
fun.
They are.
And then here is the 1941 pattern, Knit for Defense. And it has all of the approved patterns that can be used to knit for the boys overseas.
Now, is this a
Sweet.
reprint or
No,
original?
that's an original.
Oh my
And
goodness.
then I also
good.
have, this is not Red Heart, but it's, what is it, Bear Brand. But for wool, it sure feels like acrylic. But of course they wanted wool, and I don't know how much acrylic was in play in the 1940s at that point. Probably not much.
I think they wanted wool because wool is still warm
Yeah,
when
it
it's
does.
wet.
Yes.
It totally does. Look, long sleeve Novelli.
It's called the crew neck pullover.
It's a long sleeve Novelli.
Caitlin Hunter, what have you been looking at? So the other part, along with the
Hilarious.
trying to get everyone to pitch in and help out, this isn't the best. But what I have here are the Knitting for Victory set. So it's the short and long, double points, and crochet hooks. I have no idea what they're talking about. What are you doing? What is it?
It's a balaclava.
It's a helmet and mittens.
It kept them warm.
Excuse them, please.
This is why they failed history in school.
I love this. I
Yes.
love this. This is
There's the chest protector.
I had a set of size 8s in these. I'm just gonna pull one of
Just
these
ignore
out.
us.
It's
So,
late. We
these are
normally
in-
podcast in the morning. We can't do it.
Hush. So these are in red, white, and blue. I actually
not
had
cutting
a
it out.
set of these that were, the blue was worn off because the woman, or man, I don't know who used them, actually knit so much that that person, it's fine, wore the paint off of the needles. There's a group of reenactors that go to Conneaut, Ohio every fall, and they do the Red Cross, and they have knitting and sewing and all of that set up. So I had given them the pair of red, white, and blue needles. Yeah, hush. And so that they could use it in their display and also to educate folks who come to the D-Day invasion reenactment up in Conneaut that always happens in August.
I have to show this little
So,
stitch,
yeah.
knit counter that was in there. Susan Bay's old-fashioned little thing that you turn.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I love that it still has the stitch holder
sure.
on it. It's got the
Cute.
I don't know. It's
And none
just,
of that elastic is worn out. It's
some of it
amazing.
has, and it's starting to wear out here. So this is
I think
just
that's an
something
awesome
I keep
collectible.
kind of tucked away. But keep an eye out in resale shops. They're easy, people who are getting rid of these kind of needles from their grandparents' stash that they don't know what to do with. You might find a pair of these here and there, and they're really, really pretty.
There's a code for that.
So, all right. So there's the somewhat history lesson for the day.
They're very
Well, and when I
funky
was
sharp.
listening to Very Pink Knits, I think Casey did an interview with some, because I told you about it. There's still a Knit Your Bit organization.
Orleans?
Could be
Yeah.
New Orleans. That for veterans, basically scarves and things like that, hats for veterans, that started or grew from this knit for defense.
And I do believe Two Pearls in a Pod, they are doing hats for veterans. And I don't know if it's through Crafty Needle or Yarn Envy. There's one place that's kind of hosting. So they're taking hats between now and I think October. And then they'll distribute it to current veterans that are up there. Now that you guys have written, I will not laugh at history 100 times.
The teacher is coming out.
I don't do that in my classroom. Are you kidding me? All right, so acquisitions. We are going to take a look at what Darcy acquired since our last podcast. Brace yourself. Oh my gosh.
Cuteness.
Oh,
They're little sock blockers for newborn feet.
Aren't they cute?
'Cause I was making so many
my hand.
slippers. I got them on Etsy.
you know how you kiss little baby feet?
Oh,
You
they're
want
so
to kiss
tiny.
these little things. They are just
So
Too
these
cute.
are made out of cherry, and they're newborn
pretty.
wooden sock blockers from Westover. I don't know where that is, but it's the
Ohio, Westover, Ohio.
I
or
don't
no?
think
Okay.
so. Two handmade.
Oh,
Let
yeah.
me try to open them.
Cute.
We'll try to
But
get
they
that
were
into
cute.
show notes.
And I thought, why not?
Cute. Now, do they have different size for like toddlers and?
No, she has a lot of patterns on her shop,
Okay.
but she only had newborn. So she's a sock knitter.
Okay.
One of those people.
One of those.
If you can see it. Yes, no.
It'll be a little
Oh
bright.
well.
Okay. Well, we'll try to get the information in the show notes down below.
So that's all I got.
Okay. Oh, wait a second. We can share unless you
Oh,
put
yeah.
it away.
Oh,
The two of us acquired
right.
from Rinda some lovely patchouli salt scrub or sugar scrub.
Sugar scrub.
Sugar scrub.
handmade.
I smelled it. It's amazing. Darcy
I
can't,
can't smell
a thing.
anything.
So
Because I have
very
the
nice.
plague.
thank you, Rinda.
Thank you, Rinda.
Surprised you can handle that dirty hippie smell in your house.
She used to like patchouli until she made those.
Oh, she made them.
Yeah, she made them.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
but
yes,
they
yes.
were a little heavy on the scent.
Love it. Love it.
And so they were a bit overpowering. So we cut them, and well, she did. She cut them, and so now they're not.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I have your
overpowering.
patchouli hand soap that pumper that we talked about forever ago.
Oh,
Yeah. So
I forgot all
we
about
forget.
it.
Crystal, you look like you have a stack.
It was Christmas. We've had Christmas since we last gathered.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So I got Christmas presents. I'm so excited. Look at him.
Little ornament. Oh,
Okay, I just saw the marshmallows. I didn't see the actual knitting. I wasn't quite sure what she was bringing him for.
Yes, one of the marshmallow, or it's a s'more. It's a s'more ornament.
Because you always have some more knitting to do.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Because I'm so slow.
So cute.
Yes.
And I got interchangeables in the larger sizes. Yay!
You're worse than my cat. She just got caught in her own yard. And are these knit picks or
Those are.
Knitter Pride? Because
Um,
they're the same kind of, right?
They look like
I think they're
Knitter's
Knitter's
Pride.
Pride.
Okay.
They look like dreams, are they?
Yes. Yes.
Nice.
Yes. And I got a bunch more cords because when you have multiple sweaters on your needles, you run out of cords. So
you
I said-
sweater maker.
I know, isn't that amazing?
I know. We always said we were never gonna knit sweaters. What's wrong with them?
Never say never.
Never seen them.
So I asked for different size cords, so I got a random set of cords, and I got a small size of the
Row
row counter. So my other one was a large, so this one is for smaller needles, and so I am on row 5.
There you go.
Oh, now I know why you. Okay.
Yeah.
That's why
Alright.
you didn't have to.
And then
Take
the
your
clip,
chart.
once I hit 10, then I'll move it to ones and
Okay.
Okay.
And I think we saw that
Yes.
up close in
Yes.
the previous.
yes.
All right.
And Twice Sheared is the maker.
Okay.
And then Tina of Tina's Twisted Fibers had a trunk show. Woo! And so I got 2 skeins of, I think that's DK.
Looks DK.
Yep. I got
Lovely.
Wolfpack and Rusted Steel.
Rusted steel.
Yeah.
And with these cute little.
I like that
Yes.
wolf pack.
And all of her, I think we've said it before, all of her skeins come with a stitch marker.
I like the little teapot.
Yes, and they're so cute. And then I went to, on New Year's Eve, I went to Harps and Thistles and picked up 3 Irish girls.
Which feels wonderful. I have
and
some
isn't
of
it
this.
Coal Miner or something like that?
What are your plans for that?
Coal miner's daughter.
Coal Miner's daughter. And I'm a coal miner's granddaughter.
And it's kind of like peacock, like dull peacock shades. It's kind of
blues
mixed.
and purples and dark grays, and it just, it's
Really pretty.
It's lovely.
What are you making with it?
I don't quite know
Oh, you
yet.
just wanted it.
I just wanted
Yeah,
it.
okay.
I mean, I
understand that.
have thoughts of making a shawl or something like that, but I have 860 yards, so it could go into a thing. If I ever do another fingering sweater after Novelli, it could go there. I'm not sure.
You can make a chest protector.
I could make a chest protector.
I'm sure it's not fingering weight.
What about
chest
a helmet?
protector.
What about a helmet? Maybe a helmet? I could do a helmet.
Do you have anything else, maybe?
In my spare time, I'm going to make them one.
Just because you can.
In the scratchiest wool possible.
I will donate my yarn to you if you're going to make me a helmet.
Oh my
I think
goodness.
that's all.
Anything else?
I think that's all my acquisitions. Yeah.
So I was at the trunk show at Black Locust with
I ran
Tina,
into her.
and we got to meet Tina. So hi again, Tina.
Hi, Tina.
And I've already caked up my yarn. This is. It's not really me, but I guess maybe it can be.
yeah.
So.
Why couldn't it be?
So this came together. It's
It was
called
on the hat
Jolie.
Sundays.
Is that the right?
Jolene.
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 I'm like, I
As
didn't
in the
think
Dolly
of it,
Parton
the song.
song.
Yes, I
Yes.
love that song.
So that's
It's
called
really pretty.
Jolene.
We will
and-
spare you the singing.
Yes.
Are you
So
sure?
this is
Yes.
a possible, like I had mentioned, I want to do a hat a month. I just have to find the right pattern that this is going to go to. So I haven't figured that out. And like you said, it was Christmas. So I went to Black Locust
See, I wasn't so bad.
yarn store. And this is going to be my super simple summer sweater by Joji Locatelli. Originally, I was going to do my Spun Right Round, which is a green speckle with another color. But I was watching the Grocery Girls, and Jody, she was
Jody, the
doing
colors.
her super simple summer sweater in different colors.
Yes.
And she had the Hue Loco natural dyes. And I immediately
Yeah, these
thought,
are all the natural dyes, right?
but this is from someone in Lodi, Ohio.
Yes.
It's called Cara Creek, and her name is, I do believe, Shelly or Michelle. I can't remember. Oh, I'm so sorry. I feel like it's Michelle. And so she is a local hand dyer. She does small batches, and
But
this
Cara
is
is spelled
all
differently?
done. The blue is actually done with cherry. The green was, we call them ditch lilies, but the tiger lilies,
This is beets.
beets,
Or
red
daylilies.
beets.
the cherry again, because I'm gonna do blue for the
Cherry-
neck and
cherry
blue for
comes
the.
with blue?
I know. I'm gonna do blue for the collar and blue for the cuffs and the ribbing, and then this yellow marigolds. And then what did you? Oh, both of these are marigold, just different. One's light, one's dark.
One that's 2 days old and one that needs to be picked
Maybe,
already.
yeah. So I am gonna do that. I don't quite know the order, but if you haven't already seen it, I'm a little late to the game. But it's a worsted weight sweater. But my dear friend Julie had given me a gift card, a very generous gift card to Black Locust, and so I got to play a little there. I also
Very
picked up the
fancy.
speckle for the purple knitted wet here. Yeah, I know. I've got to get away
It's
from
a boxy sweater.
I love the boxy. I don't wear boxy well. I really don't. I need to do more of the fitted, like your sweaters that you do that are more straight. I feel more comfortable in those.
But you're
So can you tell her how to do that?
yeah. So I'm gonna try, like I said, this is boxy, but this is an extra small. I have never been extra small. I was born at 11 pounds. I was never an extra small. So like, this is crazy how much room is in this. So just playing around with that. And my other acquisition came from my advent calendar from this amazing woman here, which I thought it was just a lovely print.
Yeah, we thought
she
it was
had
a gorgeous
acquired
print.
because she looks through old postcards and pictures and tries to get them back to their owners. And we thought, oh, she found this in her way. But no, she covered it up. So I need a new mat so that the mat's lower. So it says Allison Smith, 2019. She drew this. Now, she's not the original artist. Albert Anker.
Anchor.
So he was the original artist, and she.
It was a painting. He was a old Dutch artist.
Oh my gosh. So this is going to be rematted so I can see your name.
Thank you.
And it's going to be framed. So thank you. I was blown away. We were like, what? You did that? No way. No way. Also, I ran up to Crafty Needle in Elmore, Ohio, and just hung out with Cheryl and Becky from Two Pearls for a bit. And just made simple purchases. I've always wanted a pair of, magic wands. I think I got 3 of them in a pouch. The other one's being used.
Explain what
So
these are.
double point.
Other than
You do this and say a magic word.
Swish and
Yes.
flick.
There you go. So let me grab my double points here really quick so I'm gonna pull out my double points, and that's probably where the other one is. I just don't have it on it. You slide it into the slit at the bottom, and it keeps your needles from coming out of your work. So it's a nice little holder.
The penny drop.
Yes,
Okay.
there you go. So I picked up those. I picked up a little keychain that said the Crafty Needle. And it's a great shop, so lots of choices, really great yarn, and a great group of ladies up there sitting at the table.
And that was where?
Elmore, Ohio, adorable town.
Where is it?
really, like 2 hours that way.
We kept trying to
Wait a
get
minute,
there.
that way. It's south of Sandusky.
Okay. Oh, out that way.
And yeah, it's a lovely drive if you've got great weather, and cute little coffee shop next door.
But you went in the middle of winter. So,
Yeah. So, but there's walking trails. Dave went up with me, so he basically said, "Take your time." He walked a couple miles on a trail. He had coffee. He found an antique shop. So he was all over the
He was
place.
happy.
Yeah. So he kept himself busy for quite a while. I think it was about 2.5 hours, and yeah. And some lady walked in and said, "Does anybody knit hats?" And I kind of hesitated because I figured a local person might say yes, but nobody did. And so I said, I can make a hat. So I guess I did my first commission object. It was a blue simple beanie. And so she lives up there in Oak Harbor, and came home, knit it up. It was chunky, so it was super fast. Popped it in the mail, so that was
There you
kind
go.
of fun.
It's fun.
So that's it for me.
You did take a picture to show us.
I do have a picture, but it's a blue beanie with a really cute
okay.
blue pom pom.
Okay.
So
All right.
yeah, it's
So-
use your imagination.
My first acquisition is because I changed colors of the top of my Novelli, and this is kind of a cranberry color. And it is from Harps and Thistles. It's Enzula, which is,
Oh my gosh.
which I was going for color, and all of a sudden I went, yeah, I have to have these. And I had to go up to a cash register, and I went, oh, I have very good taste. Because I bought 3 because I'm probably going to make it long sleeve.
Yeah.
This. So, Harps and Thistles, and the lady there again was very helpful with color choices. This bag.
Gosh, I have to have one of these.
Okay, this is from Longtail Knits, and she has these in 4 different sizes. This is the second smallest, and they come in little ones.
Whoa,
and
there's one bigger.
yeah, there's one bigger. And they come in little ones, which I've had a couple of the little ones for years because they make really good, like, transportable yarn bowl kind of things.
Yeah.
So I really like them. And I was thinking, I'm going to get another one size smaller for all my Pilates stuff.
Oh,
So
not
really like
yarn.
that. Not yarn. I forgot one acquisition that's from Designing Woman, which is the yarn for my next project, which is called The Weekender. It's actually a knit along at Designing Woman.
Yeah.
So
It's
Isn't
a what?
Isn't that
A
an
desi-
Andrea Mowry?
I don't remember.
It's yeah. I think it is.
is.
Yes. but that's a knit along at Designing.
Oh,
Yeah.
Who- She has lots of high-end yarns, and then, as I said, all the Brocco, and this one is actually universal, but I'll try and remember it next time.
Oh, nice.
When it might actually be on the needles.
All right, and then I just wanted to mention quickly over winter break. I'm a teacher, so I had 2 weeks of just like total binging on new podcasts, and I came across Chevy Rell, which is I think she's over in northern Indiana, and she knows the Two Pearls and a Pod gals. That's how I heard about her, and then I also found through her Cocktail Hour at the Coop, and it's by Arrow Acres Farm. They are in New Jersey, and they are doing a new to you 2020 knit along, and it could be anything that's new to you. So like it could be baubles. Like I could say, hey, I learned how to do a bauble, but I thought, I do want to learn something new. So I found a pattern that we had received in the Yarn Discovery Tour in 2019 from Niles, Ohio. And it's Tunisian crochet. And I, along with buying vintage needles, I had the needle I needed.
Oh
Why
wow!
is it so long?
I
Oh, that's a
know.
really cool technique.
So it says size 8, and bada boom, I had a size 8 because in the vintage store or in the thrift shops you get bundles of needles. That was in it.
This is major tuition.
Or
free.
it came from my mom. I don't remember exactly where I got that from.
Oh.
So it could have been from there or my mom, but I never saw
She
my
stole it from
mom
Gryffindor.
do this. Yeah.
So, like, it requires it to be this long.
Yes. There's a
you
front
crochet
and
along the whole row kind of thing, and
So
then
it's
you
not like you're
crochet
just
it off.
dealing with the one stitch all the time normally crocheting.
Correct.
You're actually stacking them on here like you do when you're knitting.
One row's all on, and then the next row it's off. It's like there's a front pass and a back,
Okay.
a forward pass and a return pass. So at
Okay.
one point you're actually building
You're
it
building
on.
them on, and then
And
you.
then, yeah, because I was originally going to use this purple and do this, but I wanted it to be fast, and dark yarn on a new technique was not a good idea. So I had,
I don't care for crochet, except I think I really like the Tunisian.
yeah.
Right.
So I've had this for a long time. This
It's
is
like a duck.
Destination Yarn, Cuyahoga Valley National Park, and I
Oh,
just have never
great.
known what to do with it, and I thought that might be the project
had
that we
never
do,
seen
Tunisian knit.
Fingering.
I'm a big
Fingering weight.
fan of the Cuyahoga Valley National Park
Yeah.
and our Metro Park, so
Because
that's awesome.
Knitted Wit did the national parks, and her Cuyahoga Valley National Park is more autumnal.
Right.
And
Yes.
this one is just that lovely
that a lot.
greens and browns. So I thought that would be fun to do there. So between the baubles and the Tunisian knits
And a little bit of brioche.
I've got 3 things. Now I don't know how their prizes work, but there's a ton of prizes. So it's with it's the if you go onto Instagram and look up Arrow Acres Farm or Cocktail Hour at the Coop, and it's called New to You 2020. So if you put the hashtag on there, and there's all these different levels of prizes that you can win after so long. So hop over
Check
there
it
to
out.
get more details there. So I just wanted to throw that out. Solder is in February, and talk about.
It's only a couple weeks away.
Oh boy, yes.
We're talking Solder Historical Village is having a knitting weekend,
Retreat. Yes.
which we're going to.
Yes, and we had just heard about it, and we were like, they never sell out. We'll get our registration in. We already had the hotel room. I called weeks ago, got the hotel space because I thought that might go fast, but we'll
Right.
just kind of get our reservations in or registrations whenever. And was Darcy went? Well, you had
I-
already gotten in. Darcy
And then
hopped
I went
on.
online to register, and I happened to notice on the homepage that it said registration full, and I'm like, wait, what?
She sent out smoke signals to the two
So
of
I'm
us
like
who haven't.
screenshotting it and sending everyone text messages like, they're full, we didn't get in, what are we doing?
So our first thought was we're gonna go anywhere and be party crashers and just go, but we thought we would be respectable, and so we contacted the owner, and she actually said they I guess a new person had taken over, so they stopped registration to make sure everything was where it needed to be. So there was actually a few more registrations that were there, and we got in under the wire. So
And I made sure to let her know that there were many of us that were coming. Not
Yeah.
just me that didn't get in, but there were 2 more that needed to get in.
So Deb from Solder, thank you for
Thank you
accommodating
very
us.
much.
We
Yes.
appreciate it, and I know.
I'm iffy.
Ugh.
It'll depend on how things go. My roommate's having surgery, and so it'll be like 7 or 8 days after surgery. So seeing how she does. If she's doing really well, then I will tag along. If not, then
Okay. We
Fingers
wish
crossed.
her all the best in her surgery.
what I need to do,
Yes,
so.
absolutely. So, the right thing to do, but we're really gonna miss you if you
Yeah.
can't make it. But
It'll be okay.
yes,
It'll all be
So,
good.
We'll do a lot of live FaceTimes. How about
Yeah.
that?
There we go.
All right, ladies. Is there any?
Oh.
I told you there was something at the end. So as you can
Darcy
see in the
almost tried
bottom,
to keep it.
I would like to keep it because it's so pretty.
yes. So that is how this came in this adorable packaging from Tina's Twisted Fiber. She was extremely generous in donating this to the Knitters Are Here for our for reaching our milestone of 100 subscribers. So we did a little research on our channel to go back and find the first 100 subscribers, but we discovered out of 134 subscribers, thank you all, that only 51 of you are showing up in our feed as subscribers. So you may have
Your
your
privacy.
subscriptions marked as private. So we weren't able to go from that bank of the first 100. So what we're going to ask you to do, and we had mentioned about a question, to answer a question in the comments below, and we will then pick a random number from those comments, and that is how we will get this out. And perhaps Solder, or even sooner than Solder, will do a quick little video of who that person is and make sure we get it out to them. So ladies, we
And check it,
failed to
watch
prep the
Instagram.
question ahead of time.
Yeah, watch Instagram too, because I mean, I'm sure
yeah.
we can announce it there as well.
So what would you like the question to be?
I didn't.
Sure.
What's your next sweater project? Whatever, you know, what are you knitting?
And it,
What are you getting ready to start?
yes.
That works.
Tell us
That
works.
tell us what you're getting ready
Yeah.
to start knitting.
So there's the question. What is your next cast on project? What are you getting ready to knit? All right.
Sounds
Perfect.
good.
Sounds good. All right.
All right. Until next time, everyone, thank you again. Like and subscribe, tell your friends, and thank you all.
And hope you don't have to frog anything.
That's right. Yeah.
Because we do enough for you.
Yeah. All right.
right.
Talk to you later.
Bye.